In 2008, I was diagnosed with end-stage liver disease. I was given less than 90 days to live without a liver transplant. I was at a hospital in Bakersfield that did not perform liver transplant. I spent 6 weeks there, getting sicker and sicker and sicker, just dying, hoping for a miracle. That miracle came. I was admitted to the comprehensive transplant program at Cedars-Sinai. They released me home, knowing that I would die if I was kept in the hospital, based on the medicines, drugs that they were giving me. And when I got home, facing really difficult challenges related to suicide and acute drug withdrawal and all of these things, the only thing that got me through it was my dogs. And I had several moments of clarity with my dogs that gave me a motivation to stay alive and a way to be alive in service of them that I would not have found otherwise. And, you know, dogs can do for us what we can't do for ourselves. And in their deep ability to connect with us, they can reveal things to us that we wouldn't otherwise see. And one of the sad things about the shelter crisis is that so many of these animals will not go on to live up to their potential and help the human beings that they could help. Sorry. I see very little difference in the dogs that saved my life, all of whom came from the animal shelter, and the dogs that are currently, dying in animal shelters all over California. So, I just have such a deep reverence for animals, for pets, and for the bond that we've created and nurtured over literally thousands of generations. And I think the way we're behaving currently within our society goes against everything that relationship was founded on. And I think we've abandoned animals to a degree that is shameful and that deserves a cultural reckoning. And I think that reckoning is only going to happen if we're honest about the variables that have contributed to this problem. We can't keep sweeping it under the rug. We can't keep having people complain about it the way they do. People need to go to the animal shelter. They need to visit the animal shelter. They need to understand what's happening, and they need to understand that there are ways for them to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And again, it goes back to welcoming in portions of our community that we have blamed this problem on and bringing them into the solution as opposed to pushing them away and blaming the problem on them. For far too long, we've blamed marginalized communities of color, specifically in Los Angeles. In LA, we blame South Los Angeles. In Kern County, we blame the East Side. And those are communities that are easy to blame. But nothing's being done in terms of outreach to bring them in, explain the variables, and say, hey, here's how we can work together. And if I were part of those communities having this problem blamed on me, I wouldn't want to participate either,
If you like California Insider and you like to know what's going on in California, make sure to check out Epoch Times. This is a newspaper that started by a group of Chinese Americans because of human rights abuses in China, and now is starting to grow here. Make sure to go to the Epoch Times website and check out the California section, where you can get a lot of fresh perspectives on what's going on in California. Now let's go back to the interview. Zack, how did this experience help you personally?
When I got out of the hospital, all I could think about was taking my own life, and I hadn't been without alcohol or drugs my whole life, my whole adult life. I'd been addicted to drugs and alcohol. So the fear that I had of people, places, and things was constantly overwhelming. I had a very challenging time just doing the most menial tasks of any day. Having my dogs with me, and what a rescue dog needs in rehabilitation is rules, boundaries, discipline, exercise, affection, and love. And what a person needs in recovery from alcohol and drugs are rules, boundaries, exercise, discipline, affection, and love. So by rehabilitating shelter animals and giving them those requirements, meeting their needs, I met my own needs in rehabilitation. And I've been trying to mimic that process for as many people as possible ever since. So I established Marley's Mutts 6 months after I got out of the hospital. I was basically, how do I word this? I still have advanced liver disease, but my liver disease regressed from stage 4 cirrhosis of the liver to what's called stage 3 fibrosis. So I never got a liver transplant. I'm a complete medical miracle anomaly, and I have animal rescue and welfare to thank for it. The only reason I'm sitting in front of you is because I had 3 dogs that didn't give up on me. And then a community that encouraged me to continue to try to save more lives and make a difference. And that's all we've been doing for the last 16 years, and we've never looked back.